Welcome to Wired In. I'm Diana Galata, Executive Director of Marketing and Public Relations for Hampton City Schools. I'm very excited today to be joined by two new crabbers. Tiffany Hardy, who is the Principal of Instruction at Hampton High School. Welcome.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. And Mr. Kevin Davis, who is the Principal of School Operations and Student Services, correct?
Thank you so much. Good morning.
Good morning. That's a mouthful.
Yes, it is.
But hopefully you all will have a chance to explain that later. But first of all, I want our viewers to get to know you a little bit better, because both of you have a great, rich experience with our division. So, Ms. Hardy, let's start with you. Talk a little bit about the career path that brought you to Hampton High School.
Well, let's see. I started with my undergraduate education at the College of William & Mary, and I was able to student teach in Hampton City Schools, and I never left. I started my teaching career as an English teacher at Hampton High School and at Kecoughtan High School. I taught English for 7 years at the high school level. I became an assistant principal, and actually Mr. Davis and I worked as assistant principals together for a period of time, so we go way back. And then I became curriculum leader for English Language Arts, K-12 for the district for 4 years, and this is my first principalship now back at Hampton High. I'm home.
And actually, I didn't realize that you taught at Hampton High.
I did. I started my career there.
It seems like people start there and then they end up back there. It's hard to.
A lot of tradition.
Hard to leave.
Yes.
So, Mr. Davis, you've also been in our division a long time and in a couple different places. Tell us about that.
Kind of had a different path. After graduation from high school, I ended up with CSX Railroad. And I was a career switcher before. I think it really was popular. Ended up working for Baltimore City Schools for a while, and then my wife and I moved to Hampton. I was one of the original alternative folks with Rosemary Lockett and Linda Hatching at Buckrow Skills Center. Ended up at Phoebus High School as a SIPS coordinator, Kecoughtan High School, in the school within the school program, the Dean of Boys at Kecoughtan High School. Took a little brief break from Hampton City Schools, went over to Norfolk for a while. I was principal for an alternative school there, Norview High School for a while. Ended back up at Phoebus High School as assistant principal for quite a long stay. Back to Kecoughtan High School as assistant principal, and now Hampton High School.
Great. So a little bit different career paths, which makes it a great combination at Hampton High School, because we're all hearing a lot of great things about what's going on there. So when you all were hired, the school division was looking at this whole SAM model in managing the high schools. Can you tell us a little bit about that, Mr. Davis, and what that looks like?
Sure, I'd love to. I think the division leadership team did their homework before they put Tiffany and I together. They wanted to give Tiffany, I guess, more time doing the instructional part, and I would be doing the school operation and building issues that kind of keep her from not being able to be in the classroom, so we wanted her to be able to spend all her time in the classrooms. The SAM model, it was an unusual process because it was something that was originally started by the Wallace Foundation, and they found that a lot of principals have their time interrupted by management issues. We were shadowed for a while by some of the SAM personnel. They came in and spent a week with us. They followed us and they time tracked us. They every 5 minutes, they would note exactly what we were doing, whether it was instructional, whether it was management, whether it was our own personal business. And they took this information down, kept the data, and then they, at the end of the week, showed us how much time we spent with each item. The whole point of it was to, at the end, they gave us a baseline of how much instructional time we were using. Of course, Tiffany's was much more than mine. But then they gave us a baseline of where we're going to work towards, that we're trying to improve the amount of time that we're in the classroom, because we all know that if Tiffany's in the classroom, she's helping to improve teaching, she's helping to improve what kids are learning. And then I'm dealing with all the rest of the issues that go on in a high school during the school day.
Well, and I think it's important for our viewers to understand that 20 years ago, or even 10 years ago, the building principal was more of a management position, very similar to exactly what you're doing. And then in this era of accountability, there's been a lot of pressure on schools in the era of accountability to improve instruction, which that's a good thing. We need to improve instruction. But the unfortunate thing is it's very hard for one person to be able to be in those classrooms all day and make sure instruction is improving while there are other things going on that are equally as important to tend to.
You're absolutely right. And I think that what's important to understand is that years ago, what it meant to be an instructional leader meant you were an evaluator. And you went into those classrooms very often. You examined instruction in pieces. You would post-conference, you would write an evaluation up, and that was it. Because there were so many other things going on. And I can honestly tell you, this is the most inspiring opportunity I've ever had, because I am very passionate about instruction. And I'm fully aware of everything going on in the building, but I don't have to be in the middle of it. I can now work with teachers at a coaching and a partnership perspective. So instead of going in and just writing up my notes and saying, this is what was good, this is what needs work, and be done, I actually have a conversation with the teacher and get their perspective. And I hear much more about what they're doing well beyond what I actually saw in that classroom visit. I know if there are investigations or if there are parents that need help, because Mr. Davis keeps me apprised of it. And then we together have an office administrator who is working with both of us to make sure we're both aware. And I think we meet about 5 times a day, informally in passing. So it's never that I'm out of the loop on anything. I'm just not distracted by things. And that's why it works so well.
In the same sense, I'm not taken completely out of instruction, because I do have departments that I have to supervise also. So my hand is still in it, but for the most part, I'm taking care of all the building issues and day-to-day operation of the school.
Well, and you're also ensuring a safe climate, and we all know that students want to make sure that they're safe, and parents want to ensure their students are safe. And when that climate is there, which is what you've been working on, then they're learning. And so it really does go hand in hand, and that's something that I've noticed as well this year at Hampton High, getting a lot of very positive comments about the climate for students, the climate for staff. It seems to be very positive, at least that's what we're hearing, and it seems like this model, as well as the 2 people that we placed over there, are really supporting that and making that happen.
The partnership really does require a good working relationship between the 2 individuals. I have such respect for what he has to do, because there can be no instruction if those other pieces are not done. And likewise, because he's also still in instruction, he respects what's going on in terms of working with students. And there has to be that connection in order for a partnership like this to work. There can't be any kind of jockeying for power or anything like that. It's really about what's best for the staff and the kids.
Right, right.
At this stage in my career, I'm completely comfortable with what's going on.
It's wonderful. It really is. And you did mention we are having a phenomenal year, and a lot of that has to do with the staff and students. I mean, we're enjoying the work that we do, but 2 people cannot make that happen. And we just have a phenomenal, committed staff, and they just take the ball and run with it. They have so much initiative, you don't have to micromanage. And it's just phenomenal. They want to know that the environment they're in is going to be a productive learning environment for students, and they're part of all of that work. It's tremendous. It's inspiring.
Well, let's talk a little bit about a program that is only offered at Hampton High at the high school level, and that's the International Baccalaureate program. And the way I understand it is you can live anywhere in the school division and actually ask to go to that program at Hampton High. So you have quite a few people outside of your attendance zone going for that. So tell us a little bit about that program. It's an international program, obviously. Why would someone want to enroll in that program?
The International Baccalaureate program was developed through a nonprofit organization in order to create some continuity for the learning experiences students would have that really focus on leadership, opportunities to understand your role as a citizen of the global world, as well as preparation for the global marketplace. The philosophy of the IB program really is something that we would love for all students to be able to experience. The actual instructional piece of it has a lot to do with student-centered learning experiences and inquiry. Students are investigating problems, world conflict, world issues, financial issues, and they're doing it in the context of learning the content of their courses. A lot of the students will take courses that are accelerated and offered traditionally at the junior and senior level. They'll take some of those courses at the 9th and 10th grade level in order to prepare for the coursework that they'll be doing as juniors and seniors when they're truly in the intense part of the program. The application process requires students to go through an application, get recommendations, complete essays, and then have an interview with the coordinator, Mr. Adam Neely. We're very fortunate to house Mr. Neely at Hampton High. He's in charge of the IB program as well as accelerated learning, advanced placement, and he works directly with our director for gifted services. And he goes through the process with a committee to select students who demonstrate not only the potential to work at a very rigorous level, but also a lot of self-motivation, the ability to manage their time well. It's an incredible program. They take electives as well as core classes. They are part of the Hampton community. They are not, separated from the rest of the population, but a lot of their core coursework does offer them very enriching, intensive learning experiences. The program's been around since the 60s.
Wow.
And we're the only school in Hampton that does offer it, so students are given transportation if they're accepted into the program, regardless where they live in the district. And a lot of those students go on to earn tremendous honors, scholarships. We have several students who've already received and accepted full rides to college for next year. A lot of opportunities, a lot of doors open for students who are part of such an intensive, world-renowned educational program.
Great. And another program, the Career Academy at Hampton High School, Aerospace and Information Technology, correct?
That's correct.
Would you all like to talk about that a little bit?
We're really excited about that. We work closely with our career and technical education teachers as well as our Air Force ROTC leaders in order to offer students courses that are going to prepare them for pathways in either field. And it doesn't mean you have to just want to go military or you just want to fly planes. There are a lot of career pathways under the aeronautics umbrella. And then, of course, any students interested in information technology, that can range from web page design to accounting to a lot of different business systems. So two very distinct pathways that offer students actual certification while they're in high school, and then preparation for either training programs or advanced degrees or college experience in those two fields. And we're very excited. We have some tremendous business partners who've done a lot of work to help support us in understanding what the actual industry needs. And it's nice to partner with industries that are right here in our hometown, that are close by, so that students can leave high school and go straight into training programs or entry-level positions right from high school and or college. So, it gives them a lot of opportunities. But it's nice to be working towards putting our kids right into the workforce here at home.
Great. Well, those are two great programs that people can access, but I also know there's a lot of really good news going on. In fact, we're getting in the public relations office, we get an email almost daily from one of your staff members just with some great news about students. So I know there's a lot of great news coming out of there. In fact, we're a little bit behind in covering it all, which that's
okay.
a great.
We'll keep loading you up.
It's a great problem to have. But is there anything that you want to share, anything else you want to share about Hampton High School, the students, the staff, some good news?
There isn't enough time to tell it all, so.
Ms. Galata, I think you remember back in October, we started with bombarding you with, we had a college career day that we had 25 colleges and recruiters and people from the business world that talked to our seniors. And when that day was over, I think we had 66 students that have received on-site admissions to colleges, offering them over $1.2 million in possible scholarship offerings. I can't wait to see what it's going to be when these kids graduate. We've had FAFSA workshops for kids. We've also had free application week opportunities for our students so that they could apply to at least 10 college universities of their choice, free, saving students over $19,000 worth of application fee money. So numerous of our students have also received, student athletes have received money to go to colleges, going to places like University of Nevada, UNC Wilmington, Virginia State, Norfolk State. So we're proud of our crabbers.
And the senior class is representative of those achievements, but 9th through 12th, our Principals Advisory Board said they really want to hear celebrations from the cross-section. And so we've been doing morning announcements with celebrations. Well, I tell you, we have to be selective because there are so many great achievements between the Mayor's Club, the Mayor's Card Award, and we've got our artists. We have a published author who was recently interviewed on Wavy 10. We have student athletes. We have a 4-time state champion in track. We have so many students who are being recognized, Coca-Cola sponsor, a Coca-Cola scholar, and 9th through 12th grade students just, earning all of these recognitions. A lot of it comes from the support they're getting from their classroom teachers, their guidance counselors. We have phenomenal teams working to bring these opportunities to students. We just found out that 3 of our students placed in the National Latin Exam. That was exciting news from this morning. We have 6 students who've been accepted to Governor's School Residential Program. And that's just enormous opportunities, the experiences that wouldn't happen if teachers weren't going out of their way looking for opportunities for students to participate. We started the year with the Ice Bucket Challenge. We were the first to challenge the rest of the rest of the district. We had celebration of world peace with our art program and the Pinwheels for Peace. We have students participating in the making of the paper cranes. We have a group that's working towards the for the National Cancer Society and doing Relay for Life. It's just amazing how far the fingers reach from the building out into the community, and the staff recognitions as well as the student. It's just innumerable.
And it's so important for our community to know about those very wonderful things that the staff's doing, the students are doing. So I'm glad you all were able to join us today on Wired In, and hopefully you'll come back soon and tell us about more of the accomplishments at Hampton High School.
Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for watching Wired In. Have a great week.